were before a majority of Americans said he should be impeached. But Democrats are still more than capable of screwing up the 2020 election by lurching too far to the left and playing right into Republican hands. Look, it's no secret Trump has been calling Democrats socialist, radical, extreme, and anti-American. But there's definitely a method to his madness.
Here's a CNN anchor straight up endorsing Joe Biden while attacking the progressive wing of the Democratic Party with nearly identical talking points we've heard before. From Fox News,
our next guest believes that the Democrats are really moving further to the left, and in doing so, they are also moving away from American mainstream thinking.
They haven't accepted the fact that about half the country is not on board with these left-wing progressive ideas.
But let's go back to my man over at CNN who apparently, get this, used to be Rudy Giuliani's speechwriter.
Check out this poll from midsummer. It shows Joe Biden crushing Trump by 10 points, with the rest of the top-tier candidates either beating him by a few points or tied. But when Trump is pitted against a, quote, Democratic candidate who you regard as socialist, he wins by 6.
Okay, so one, this is just one poll, and if you were to look at the real clear politics average, Biden is beating Trump only by 6.9 points, whereas Bernie is beating him by 5.3 and Warren by 5.2. So there's hardly a decisive difference there. Also, this is a conversation about how the supposed radical left is not as good against Trump as the moderate choices. So why are the two other moderates, Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg, actually barely beating Trump by 1 and 2 points respectively? But I guess that's not something that CNN wants to talk about or show, since this is just Biden propaganda. But let's get back to the final part of this awful video.
And here's the thing. Beyond the fear-mongering of the phrase, and even the fact that 6% of Democrats think it means being social, there are policies being advanced by major candidates that can credibly be called socialist. Talking in particular about single-payer health care.
I love the irony of this guy making fun of Democrats not understanding what the word socialism is, and then following that up by saying that single-payer health care is socialism. Ah, yes. The famous socialism of single-payer healthcare that's practiced in nearly every other capitalist comparable developed nation. Calling single-payer healthcare socialism is like calling public education socialism. Socialism is when the government does things, and the more the government does things, the more socialist it is. Also, even if it was socialism, it turns out that single-payer polls well. These radical ideas are things that Americans want, and even more Americans will start demanding healthcare as long as there are politicians like Bernie Sanders who are out there talking about what must be done and not just moaning about how hard change could possibly be. I mean, the segment literally starts with an impeachment poll demonstrating that through moral conviction and through constant coverage, people's opinions change on rather polarizing matters like impeachment or Medicare.
Now rebranded as Medicare for All. Now, it would eliminate all private insurance and put everyone on a free government plan at an astronomical cost of more than $30 trillion over 10 years.
This is perhaps the most annoying omission we hear the most. The $30 trillion figure comes from a Koch brothers study, and what this CNN anchor is not mentioning on purpose is that Medicare for All will actually be cheaper for America by $2 trillion. Americans already pay for their insurance through their jobs, but a single-payer healthcare plan would make healthcare free at the point of entry and eliminate unnecessary overhead from the insurance industry. It would also allow our government to bargain against bloated pricing on drugs as well as healthcare like every other sane nation on this planet. American exceptionalism shouldn't mean that we're exceptionally insane, but here we are paying twice as much for healthcare for average or worse outcomes as we go into medical bankruptcy, and it's literally illegal for our government to negotiate pharmaceutical prices. Now, am I saying we need to rise up and rid ourselves of the shackles that bind us, seize the means of production, and overthrow the corrupt dictatorship of the bourgeoisie and reinstall a dictatorship of the proletariat where the needs of the working class will be met and all men shall be able to pursue a life of dignity, free of alienation? No. But in the short term, maybe, just maybe, we should get universal health care, man. It's just insane that we live in the wealthiest nation on earth, yet millions remain underinsured or uninsured. And we live in a nation where people die because they can't afford insulin or they can't pay for their medical treatments through GoFundMe. But I guess that's too radical. I'm Hasan Piker, and this has been The Breakdown. Want to see more videos like this? Well then, subscribe to the TYT channel below. Also, don't forget to become a TYT member. You can get access for as little as $4.99 a month. Also, download the TYT Plus app on your phone or head over to tyt.com/join today.